We all like to say yom yom. I've come to think that's a real cheap expression. Every yom is a blessing. Don't take one of them for granted and appreciate it. I've exercised my entire adult life up until the last several years, and I did it with a passion. And God said, "Jay, you're the guy who likes to exercise. I'll show you." And He took it away from me. And lo and behold, I had a bad heart.
The heart is really just a muscular pump that pumps blood all over the body, and you need a strong muscle to do that. And under normal conditions, the heart can achieve that goal pretty easily. But for a variety of reasons, the heart muscle can get affected and become very weak. And when that happens, it can lead to what's called congestive heart failure.
It was diagnosed a while ago, but I kept going. Nobody ever told me to stop. So I kept going and kept going until finally they told me to stop. I was in the hospital for a procedure, and they said, "You have bad numbers, you've had bad numbers for a while, but they've really deteriorated and you can't function anymore. You're not leaving the hospital until you get a heart, until we get you a heart." And it starts to roll around in your head. And it's a cliche to say surreal. It's surreal at that time. You don't even know what that means.
If you looked at him, you would think he was a pretty healthy guy, but then just take a quick look around the room and you saw all the devices and all the tubes and all the pumps and everything else that was basically keeping him alive at that point.
Oh man, yeah, it's a complicated procedure. First they put in one device, and they know that device is only going to last a week. They take that out, and they put in another fancy machine, $4 or $5 million machine. And that lasts approximately a week or so. Before I knew it, it was 3 weeks, and they found the heart. When they tell you they found the heart, that's one of the most joyous and also surreal kind of things, because you're sitting on the bed and you don't know what's going to be. You just don't know what's going to be. You pray and you pray and you pray with everything you can. It's an 8-hour procedure.
Jay had a remarkably good attitude. I was really impressed with his faith, with his belief, in Hashem, and that everything was going to turn out okay. And he was just taking it one day at a time and hoping and praying for the best.
After the transplant, the first week, you lie flat. No pillow, nothing. When I say flat, I mean flat. If you move, if you bend, the nurse is going to come in and give you what for. The next week, you can bend at the waist. And the week after that, I was able to walk with an extra tall walker and 2 people assisting me. And a week after that, I was able to walk. And now I can pretty much function. I would daven as much as I could in the hospital. Very difficult. Tubes and wires and machines plugged into you, through you. I did the best I could. Whenever I could, it was hard to stay awake. But whenever I could, I tried to attend a shiur on Zoom. They started a WhatsApp group for people to say Tehillim. And there were a couple of 100 people on that WhatsApp group. I never looked at it. I was never a member of it. I didn't want to see. I wasn't taking attendance. Kol hakavod to all the people who believed in the power of Tehillim. The doctors say you're not out of the woods for the first year. first year, it's going well. For some people, it could be longer. We'll see. We'll see.
If something becomes closed up that shouldn't be and needs to stay open, the results could be catastrophic. And when you think about that, and somebody like Jay, who was hooked up to all these tubes because things in him weren't opening and closing properly, or they had bladder catheters in for weeks on end and they couldn't void on their own, and then you do that for the first time and make the bracha of Asher Yatzar, it is tremendously meaningful.
I had a bad heart. They don't know what caused it. There's no other bigger thanks or gratitude I can give to Hashem for His mystery. Medicine will figure out whatever they figure out, but it's not without His blessing and His control.